Most founders I talk to spend at least between 2 and 4 hours a week on LinkedIn. And honestly, they almost get nothing from it, considering the time input. No leads, no conversations, just likes from random people. And after helping thousands of founders with their LinkedIn content in, and analyzing the latest algorithm data from the biggest studies in space, I can tell you your LinkedIn probably isn't broken. It's miscalibrated. And the fix is way simpler than you think. So here's what we're going to do. Give me 10 minutes and I'll walk you through 5 quick audits that will show you exactly where your LinkedIn strategy is leaking: format, hooks, consistency, audience, and system. By the end, you'll know which one to fix first, and it won't cost you a cent. Let's get going. Audit number 1, your format. Here's what most founders overlook about LinkedIn. The format you choose before you write a single word is already giving you either a small boost or quietly holding you back. We're talking 20-30% here, but it's a completely free thing that you can do. And over dozens of posts, it obviously compounds. Richard van der Bloem just published their latest algorithm research, and the numbers are interesting. Text+image post, so photo with caption, get a 1.2 multiplier in reach and 1.34 in engagement. Both of those went up this year. Text-only posts, 0.9 reach, 0.69 engagement. That's below baseline. So a text-only post is starting at a disadvantage before anyone even reads it. And video, it might surprise you or it might not, but it dropped and it went from a 1.49 reach multiplier down to 0.96. LinkedIn heavily pulled back on the video feed and reach went down with it. Now, document posts, those carousels, get the biggest boost, right? But they are harder to produce. So here is your quick win. For personal stories, just pair it with a picture of you. For educational content, you can also pair it with a picture of you, or if you want to have a little bit more boost, pair it with an infographic, because infographics specifically get 2.4 times more engagement than the average image, according to the same research. And now the obvious objection here is, I'm not a designer. And you're right. Making a good infographic from scratch takes time, but you can actually generate one that matches your post with a single click. Same with personal photos. You can generate one that fits your face, your vibe, and what you wrote. Which brings me to something I want to mention quickly, because this is actually one thing that we built into content in. You write your post and it generates a matching image. Infographic, personal post, quote image with a single click. No design skills, no Canva, no extra time. If you want to try it, free trial, link is in the description. But either way, even if you just start adding an image to your text post, you're already ahead of most people, right? All right, audit number 2, your hooks. There's a ton of advice out there about how to open a LinkedIn post. Use a pattern interrupt, ask a question, drop a bold statement. And honestly, all of these work or they cannot, because here's the distinction most people miss. The hooks that perform best on LinkedIn aren't clever, they are authentic. The algorithm research shows 2 things that matter here. First, negative hooks outperform positive hooks by 20%. So I lost my biggest client last month beats here's my secret to success. That's not about being negative for the sake of it. It's human psychology. It's about being honest and real. Vulnerability is still rare on LinkedIn. That's why it stops the scroll. Second, if you choose a before and after in your first 2 lines, you get 6 times more clicks on the see more. 6 times. Because what people want to know is how to get from A to B. And this connects with something bigger. Numbers absolutely work in hooks. I use them all the time, but they work when they are your numbers, your proof, your experience. I analyzed 5,000 LinkedIn post works because it shows you did the work. Did you know 73% of marketers doesn't? because it's a stat you Googled. The difference is authority versus information. Anyone can paste a statistic. Only you can share what you learned the hard way. So here's the audit. Look at your last 5 opening lines. Do they sound like you talking or like a blog post? Do they show your experience or just share generic information? Could anyone have written that hook, or is it clearly yours? If your hook sounds like they could come from anyone, that's your problem right there. The fix is lead with your story, lead with your proof. Last month I tested beats studies show every single time. Not because data is bad, but because your data is better. Audit number 3. And this is the one nobody wants to hear really. It's your consistency. Here's a number that should terrify you and excite you at the same time. Only 1% of LinkedIn users to this day post content once a week or more. 1%. That is out of 1 billion users and out of 310 million monthly active users. Only about 3 million post consistently. And those 3 million generate 9 billion impressions per week. Now, at Continent we track this, right? Because we see what happens when people actually show up, and the difference is insane. Our users who post consistently gained on average 4,863 followers. The ones who posted on and off, 783. That's a 6-time difference. Not from better writing, not from viral hooks, just from showing up, all using the same tool. And look, I know what you're thinking. I know I should post more, but I don't have the time. And here's what I want to say to that. There isn't a talent gap on LinkedIn because we have AI, but there is a consistency gap. And most of the time, the reason founders fall off isn't laziness, it's that they don't have the right system. They're facing a blank page every time, and that's exhausting. They're trying to willpower their way through it, and that doesn't work. We'll get to the system in a minute. But first, there's a much bigger problem than frequency. Audit numero 4. And honestly, this one might be the most important, your audience. Let me tell you a real story. I once had a LinkedIn post go viral, 80K views. I was buzzing, refreshing the notifications. This is it, right? Now we're getting somewhere. This is the post that changes everything. And you know how many clients I got from that post? 0. Nada. I got a couple of conversations, a couple of DMs, but it led to nothing. And then a few weeks later, I wrote a very specific post about a very specific problem that a very specific type of founder has. That post got maybe 1,000 views, but led to 3 deals. And that's the moment I understood something that most people on LinkedIn never figure out. You don't need to go viral. You don't need to have crazy impressions. You don't need 50,000 followers. You need 500 of the right people. And here's how you know if you're writing for the wrong audience. If your posts get likes from other creators, marketers, LinkedIn coaches, random people, but your actual buyers are nowhere in the comments, your content is entertaining the wrong room. So here's the audit. Look at your last 5 posts. Who commented? Who engaged? Are they the people who could actually become clients? If not, you have an audience problem. And no amount of better hooks or better formats or better posts will ever fix that. You need to change who you're talking to. Now, here's where everything clicks. Because once you know your audience, once you're clear about your 500 people, something magical happens. Everything gets simpler. Your topics become obvious because you're not asking, what should I post about? You're asking, what does my specific buyer struggle with? Your format choices narrow because you know whether your audience responds to stories or to frameworks. Your hooks write themselves because you know their language, their fears, their frustrations. This is the part that most people get backwards. They try to figure out the perfect system first, the posting schedule, the content calendar, the tools. But all of that is noise until you're clear on the who. Once the who is locked in, the how becomes almost simple. And that's exactly what makes the last audit work. And look, You're sitting there going, okay, I get the 500 people thing, but how do I actually create content for them consistently? And that's exactly the problem I build content in to solve. The AI learns your voice, it comes up with a strategy for you, it identifies your ICP, your audience, and it does the heavy lifting on all of this for you. Link is in the description. But let me show you how the system works, even without the tool. All right, audit number 5, your system. And here is where I need to be really direct with you. Most LinkedIn advice is built by creators, people whose full-time job is LinkedIn. They'll tell you to spend 2 hours a day writing, commenting, DMing. If you're a founder, that's insane. You have a product to build, clients to serve, a team to manage. You can't spend 20 hours a week on LinkedIn. And you don't need to. Here's what actually works for founders. Step 1, 30 minutes per week, one slot, Saturday morning, Sunday night, whatever works. You sit down, you batch create your posts for the week. All of them, one go. If you know your audience from audit number 4, if you've nailed your format from audit 1, this is genuinely fast. You're not starting from scratch, you're not staring at the blank page, you know who you're writing for and you know what format works. Step 2, 15 to 30 minutes per day, not writing, engaging. Strategic, laser-sharp comments on your buyers' posts. DM when somebody engages with your content, when somebody views your profile. This is where deals actually come from. Total weekly invest, 2 to 4 hours, not 20, not 10, 2 to 4. And that's the whole system. Batch once, engage daily, track what works, repeat. This is why I build content in. And that 30-minute weekly batch, it should feel effortless. The AI learns your voice, your topics, your audience, and it generates drafts that actually sound like you. So you're editing, not creating from scratch. But even without the tool, the system works. The key is that you batch and you engage. That's it. Look, LinkedIn is not a content platform, not for founders. For creators, sure, LinkedIn is the product. The audience is the business. But for you, LinkedIn is a tool. It's a networking tool. It's a pipeline tool that happens to use content as its input. And when you see it that way, everything changes. You stop chasing viral posts. You stop comparing yourself to people who do this full time. You stop trying to be a creator and you start being a founder who uses LinkedIn to put the right message in front of the right 500 people with the least amount of effort possible. That's not a content strategy, that's a business strategy. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pick one audit, just one. If you're posting text only, fix your format. If you're spending hours on video and carousels that don't perform, take image and text. That's free. If you're opening with stats and questions, try a personal story this week. If you haven't posted in 2 weeks, post tomorrow. Doesn't matter what. If you're getting likes from the wrong people, rewrite your next post for your buyer. If that doesn't help, review your followers. If you don't have a system, block 30 minutes this weekend and batch. One audit, one fix this week. Drop a comment and tell me which one you're starting with. I'll reply to every single one. And if you want help with any of that, there's a free trial for Content. Link is in the description. It'll learn your voice, your audience. It'll generate posts that actually sound like you. Next week, I'm going deep on one of these audits, the hook audit, and I'll show you exact formulas that are working right now in 2026. See you then.